Today, we're going to be seeing what it's like to be a chemical engineering upperclassman, and we're going to be interviewing 2 students and 1 professor.
We can start.
Okay.
Okay.
From your perspective, what distinguishes upperclassmen chemical engineers students from their earliest years and in terms of skill and knowledge?
So what distinguishes upperclassmen chemical engineering students from their early years? So from my perspective, I feel that let's say an upperclassman student should be first have a very good foundation about their chemical engineering knowledge, and so that's my first expectation because our purpose is to educate you about some chemical engineering backgrounds, and I think that's the most important thing for me. I'm teaching a senior level course, and I can easily tell whether the students can have got a very good background or no. So yeah.
Okay. For the second question, how do you see the transition from theoretical coursework to practical applications in the upperclassmen years?
How do I see the transition from theoretical coursework to practical application?
Yeah.
So I think being practical application, first you have to get some theoretical knowledge about the process, right? And how do I see? I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing, and of course, before you graduate, it's better for you to get some hands-on experience on some practical applications. That's also what our department is trying to do, right? So maybe you can do some hands-on projects on the pilot plant before you can. Before you graduate.
Okay. Third question: what opportunities do upperclassmen students have for research, internships, or projects in the chemical engineering department?
So first, for the research part, I think a lot of labs have the openings for undergrad students to do research. Just go and talk to the professor that you are interested into. Also, I don't know if you know, NSF has some REU. It's meant for undergrad students, and you can also look for some opportunities. If some professors have REU grant, then you can approach for internship and collaborative projects. So for internships, definitely I encourage all the undergrad students to go for internships during the summertime to enrich your resume. Also collaborative projects. Some courses may offer the projects that you need to do in groups. This is also a very good opportunity for you to practice, let's say, interpersonal skills and so on.
Okay. In your experience, how do upperclassmen studies typically approach their studies differently compared to freshmen or sophomores?
How do upperclassmen students typically approach their studies differently compared to freshmen? I feel for an upperclassmen students, they are more like they have a bigger vision. So that's the first thing. Let's say, for example, in the final year, you guys need to do some it's called a design course, right? So that's an upper class course. So in order to do that course, you let's say you are assigned with some projects, and you should have a big vision about what things you should do, what things you may not have time to do, right? So you start from the core parts, or the priority parts, instead of starting from little and to everything. You have to kind of find out how to use your time best.
Okay. Are there any trends or changes that you've observed in the chemical engineering field?
Are there any trends or changes you have observed in the field of chemical engineering that you think
students should be aware
of? So this one, I think for chemical engineering, one thing is the student should be able to program. So this is definitely the very important direction now. So definitely I think the department may open some probably, I don't know, uh, may open some opportunities for you guys to practice some programming skills.
Cool.
So this is getting more important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you support upperclassmen students in preparing for their careers? And what advice would you often find yourself giving to them?
So, so I think I have done a lot of career counseling with the senior students.
Yeah.
Based on my experience, I think the first thing is you need to get a lot of experience. Let's say a lot of internships or
Yeah.
research experience or other kind of projects to make you a strong candidate for the job market. So that's my recommendation, is to go for all kind of opportunities to get more experience as much as possible. So that in that sense, of course, you should
Yeah.
make sure your coursework is excellent, right? So GPA is also
Yeah.
an important factor, right? So I think those both aspects are very important.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to. Are you gone?
Yeah, I'm
Oh
going.
shit. Okay.
Freaking-
Okay. What inspired you to pursue chemical engineering, and how has your perception of the field changed as you progressed through your studies?
At least for me, when I started doing chemical engineering, is because, well, I really like chemistry and everything like that. Like when I was in high school, I used to might be able to know my periodic table and everything like very quickly. And then I go on like trips and everything and like would analyze particles and stuff. So I was like, you know what? Instead of going to chemistry, how about like engineering as well? You know, like also in the oil and gas field as well. And like the second question was like, how has it changed my perspective?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of made me want to pursue it more because the amount of classes that we take and everything like that, it kind of like also teaches you how to apply it in life, right? Like
Yeah.
for one of these classes, we're taking a class called drug delivery, right? So how to like apply that into the real world, you know?
For the second question, can you describe a typical day or week of a chemical engineering upperclassman?
Typical day.
Yeah. I know it's.
I mean, you're working with a lot of projects, that's for sure. They teach you how to use like coding as well, which you would think that like chemical engineer doesn't have to deal with that, you know, but they're trying to teach us how to like, you know, model different things. So a lot of projects, you know, a decent amount of homework, I will say, and then like a lot of things to like learn as well. Like, you know, you come in from the lectures and then you leave and then that's when you go work on your homeworks and like your projects and different assignments. So yeah, and then after that, you know, just go home and do whatever.
Before, how has your understanding of real-world applications of chemical engineering evolved through the years?
So before I came into it, I just thought it was just like you learn it and then you apply it and everything like that. But after like experiencing it, right, there's really a lot of like thought process with it. Like you don't just like learn that like, oh, like thermodynamics is this, and then you go out into the machine and be like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, right? But there's a lot of research to it, and like, you know, understanding like the different components more, because like, you know, in one of our classes, you know, I was working with like, you know, pressure gauges or like, you know, bioreactors and everything like that. So not just the lectures, but also understanding how different systems work, different devices and everything, you know. Yeah. So pretty much going from like just thinking that you just know the like lectures and stuff, but actually like understanding how the machine and like the different components work.
Okay. Number 5, are there any specific projects, research, or internships that you've been involved with?
Yeah, so like I mentioned in our class, drug delivery. So like, I mean, at least for my project, we had to develop a controlled release for COVID vaccination, for a prolonged controlled release for COVID vaccinations and everything like that. So we had to obviously research that, do the background and significance, and design a methodology, design like a whole model for it with response systems and everything, and like also have our expected outcomes as well, like, you know, the dosage of the drug that, you know, we want to give out, that'd be efficient, so we don't want our patients coming in, you know, like what's it called, every single day. You want to prolong it to the point where you want at least like 2 months, you know, 3 months, because you don't want to get like injections like every single day, you know.
And then number 6, how do you navigate networking opportunities, and have you connected with professionals in the field?
I haven't been able to. Well, yes, I have been able to connect with professionals in the field. Like with my so I had an internship this last summer with Bechtel Energy. We were working with LNGs. Like we were working in constructing LNGs, right? And then we're working with the vendor. And so at one point we had like this presentation event where we met with different like engineers and different engineers and different vendors, right? So one of them was a nuclear engineer. So how I handle networking is, so I go talk to them, ask them why they chose to major and everything, get their email, and I reach out whenever to see if there's an opportunity for me to get an internship with them or to learn from them, So it's all about just when you get an internship, just make sure you just know your supervisors, your coworkers, and also your friends there because you never know what opportunity you're gonna get.
Thank you.
Okay, first question, what inspired you to pursue chemical engineering, and how has your perception of the field changed as you progressed there?
So, when I first came into tech, I was actually a chemistry major. And so once I graduated with my chemistry degree, I wanted to kind of have a more macroscopic view of the world and be able to, to be able to eventually apply that to my personal life. So what inspired me was being able to have real world applications towards my life and be able to prosper for that. And what was the second question as well?
So how has your perception of the field changed?
So when I initially came in to take for chemical engineering, I didn't have a perspective to say in the first place. But over the course of the past couple of years, my perception has mostly focused on just industry and being able to control processes. So that's kind of just the perspective that I have developed. So I didn't come in with any perspective.
Yeah. Okay. Can you describe a typical day as an upperclassman, and how do you balance?
Of course, so a typical day, there's going to be expectations of not having a boundary between your personal life and academic life. Both of those are intermixed. So if you try to have that complete separation between personal life and academic life, you're going to have to be really strict on your discipline. So for me, typically, I'm typically waking up at 8, doing work from 9 to possibly 10 o'clock at night. And that's not a joke. So, honestly, I'm not working consistently throughout the day, but it's more about pacing yourself throughout the day because you don't want to definitely overwhelm yourself. But like I said, usually I'm typically working on projects, homeworks, all throughout the day. And I typically prioritize my work in terms of, when they're due, how often they're due, how much work it takes. So for typical projects that are given like 2 weeks long, I work on it every day. But if it's like a homework that's due in 2 or 3 days, I'll try to do it either the day before or the day of, just to ensure that I don't burn myself out trying to work on everything at once. So that's how I typically go about my day.
So question number 3, what has been your most challenging aspect of your upperclassman years?
So that actually refers back to the previous question. It's honestly the most challenging aspect of chemistry is true discipline. If you don't have the correct discipline, you will not pass. If you don't have the discipline to maintain your schedule throughout the day, you won't pass. So typically for me, I have a focus on making sure I stay healthy and being able to complete my assignments on time as well. So the difficult part is making sure that you're doing your assignments on time, completing them efficiently, proficiently, and being able to keep yourself alive. So
How's your understanding of real-world applications of chemical engineering evolved?
So when I first came in to this program, there's a lot of theory that that doesn't have a lot of real-world applications. But once you start to get to a lot of upper class, they start to give you small pieces of how the real world works. But the entire perspective doesn't come into view until maybe you actually get into an internship or until you start like networking with different professionals, and then they give you their perspective on how the industry may be or the real world is. So in terms of just the classwork, it's just more about theory. But once you start to branch out from the classes, that's when the real world applications start.
Are there any specific projects, research, or internships that you've been involved with?
So, in terms of projects, there was no special project because we have projects for all of our classes right now. But I recently just signed an offer for an internship at a oil and gas company called HF Sinclair. And so I'll be doing process control engineering, where I'll be controlling a lot of processes from the actual refinery. So someone will be in the field say, hey, the temperature may need to go by this amount, and I would need to probably put that into the actual system and not disturb any of the other variables, that could affect the products or the efficiency of the entire system. So that's some of the things that I'm kind of will be working on in the next semester.
And then the final question: how do you navigate networking opportunities?
So in terms of networking opportunities, it's more about attending a lot of the organizations that are present here in the chemical engineering program. So for instance, one good way to network is through the job and career fairs, or especially the engineering career fairs. A lot of companies come there. I say about 300 companies come there. So you have a lot of opportunities to speak with multiple people from different backgrounds and also from different disciplines as well, not just chemical engineering. And as well as you can also speak with your professors as well to get some advice on them, because a lot of professors here have knowledge in the actual industry before becoming professors or academic instructors. So usually either career fairs, organizations, or speaking with your professors.
Thank you.
Of course, bro. That's of course, man.
Thanks.
We want to show you.
Yeah,
In conclusion, being a chemical engineering upperclassman at Texas Tech offers a unique blend of academic challenges as well as hands-on experience. The curriculum prepares students for real-world applications. As upperclassmen, students gain valuable insights contributing to both personal and professional growth, making the journey at Texas Tech a rewarding and worthwhile experience.